People, BB and Jack Frost. Oh wow, let me wipe this camera off. I don't know if that. Nah, that's the glare from outside. I'm sorry about that. Today I decided I want to discuss Trump and the whole Russia situation. I don't think people understand how weak this makes America look really weak right now. This is important. Some people might say, why is it important or not important? Because America looks weak or whatever the case might be. But you got to understand, the strength of America fuels our economy for one thing. I don't just mean our economy in America. I mean the global economy. Think about when Obama became president. Upon Obama becoming president, the actual global economy started getting better when they saw some of the decisions and some of the moves that he started making. People started having confidence in America once again. Don't get this confused. The number one reason why America is supposedly, quote unquote, the most powerful country in the world, supposedly. Good morning, Mahogany. How you doing today? Before I go even further, how are you doing, Mahogany? Are you back home yet? I remember the other day you told me that you wasn't feeling well. Are you back home yet? But yo, and do I like my Pumas? I'm just curious. Like, do people fucking with my Pumas, or is this just too much? Anyway, for the people that don't know, so America, the strength of America, or the thing that keeps America at the top of the pyramid, or whatever you want to call it, the food chain of the global food chain, is our military strength. Do not get this confused. That's what it is. What is the thing that actually, as far as how any country operates, the most important part of military strength isn't always muscle. It's intelligence. And I don't mean like intelligence like, IQ. I mean intelligence like what you know, intel, the things that you know about other countries, like, your ability to spy on other people, get information that you might not supposed to have, and then hold on to that information until it's useful for you to use, for you to be able to convince, other nations to do one thing or another. Intelligence is very, very important, okay? So, I'm staying on point. Y'all just got to bear with me for a second. One of the reasons why America is just a laughing stock to the rest of the world is, for one, you could try to trick people all you want, people that are rooting for Trump and think that Trump is the best thing since sliced bread. You could try to trick people all you want, but when our president goes on TV and he speaks on a fourth grade level as far as the words that he used, as far as his inability to be able to create, it's hard for me to say, but he can't paint a picture. You understand what I'm saying? Not like when you're having a conversation with somebody and you're talking and you could feel what they're speaking about. It doesn't sound disjointed. It doesn't sound like they have racing thoughts. Racing thoughts is actually, for everybody that doesn't know, is actually one of the things in which a psychiatrist will be looking for. How you doing, Luis? Look, I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm getting to the whole the situation that happened in Europe, and but I want to slow walk it because I do have a little bit of time today, and I want to slow walk it because I think that people just really don't understand how bad it was that the U.S. isn't backing an ally. You understand? You can't be the big dog in the fight, right? But you're letting other dogs push other dogs around. We can't be the most powerful country on the planet if we are knowingly allowing other countries to do things like have unsanctioned attacks on foreign soil. This is making the U.S. look weak. Remember, people forget the Cold War in the 1980s. Some of us lived through the Cold War in the 1980s. You can remember how the propaganda was created, how every single thing that had to deal with media was the U.S. against Russia. There was a reason for this, because in the real world, it was really the U.S. against Russia. Even before the 1980s. Remember, there was the race to the moon and all of the different things. It's always been the leading countries, it's in the 20th century, the leading countries in the world, with the exception of, when Germany did whatever the hell Germany did, and then, the world wars broke out. But the leading countries in the world have, for the majority of the time in the 20th century, have been the U.S. and has been Russia. When you think about the Cuban Missile Crisis, what was that about? Russia sending missiles or helping Cuba, right? Anybody remember the Bay of Pigs? When America went to invade Cuba? All of these things were backed by Russia. You understand? So you have to understand that right now we're living in a time where, I'm not trying to say that Russians are the enemies, but so far they have been accused of tampering with one of our elections. And right now they're being accused of letting a biological weapon off on foreign soil, on soil that is not theirs, to kill. For everybody that doesn't know, the individuals that was attacked is a ex-spy, an ex-double agent, who was supposed to be a Soviet spy, but he spied for and against Russia and his daughter. For everybody that doesn't know, that's why countries are so sure that Russia actually did do what they did. And now that there's confirmation, supposedly there's confirmation, and our leader, Mr. Trump, President Business, has decided that he's going to abstain from speaking negatively about the parties at fault. That just makes us look weak to the rest of the country. It makes us look like, we're scared. That's what it makes us look like. We're scared. And not for nothing, I don't know Putin's politics or nothing. I'm not in that country. But I do remember that they arrested those girls and put them in prison for like 3 years. I think there was like a rock band or something, because they spoke out against the country. And they were put in jail for like 3 years. And you could just imagine what was happening to them when they were there. So, and I don't know much about Russia, and I don't know much about Putin, but I do know that if you speak out against him and his regime, and you have a big enough platform that you could create change or awareness, should I say awareness, you will be in prison. And in the case of the gentleman that wasn't even in his country, you have biological weapons sent to kill you. Because you have to understand, it's not just that they sent biological weapons to kill this man and his daughter. So many other people were harmed and injured. And then you add that to, you don't know how, the long-lasting effects of this biological weapon being let off in this area might be. It might affect people, and like that we won't be able to see how it's affecting anyone for 5-10 years. That just walked past, that didn't even have any symptoms, that don't even know that they breathed in some kind of pathogen. Pardon me. And our president, he'd rather be on Twitter fighting with basketball stars, basketball players, and movie stars, and having weird arguments where he's using words that aren't even words, like confab. Oh, wait, that's actually that means something. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Confab actually means something. But y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm always an advocate of, if a person gets elected, it's already past the time. You can't sit around and then talk about what if they didn't get elected. There's nothing you can do at this point. At this point, it's not about making the best that you can of the situation. At this point, it is trying to mitigate damage, trying to limit whatever damage that could be caused. And to be perfectly honest with you, it seems like anybody that's inside of his, that works for him, that speaks out against him, they get fired. Like, what other president does this? How do you run a business? Let's just say you're just a regular businessman and you run a business, let's say you run a Dwayne Reed. or some crap like that. And every time one of your subordinates or anytime one of the people that work for you come to you and say, look, boss, I think that this is a bad idea. This might, cause us to lose money. And you say, well, you know what? It was fine having you work here for us, but I don't think your services is going to be needed any further. Like, how can you run a business like that? How can you run a business where a person has to continuously agree with everything that you're saying and doing, or you're going to let them go? Like the business will fail. So right now, America is failing. Think about it like this. The other day, a dog, somebody's pet, somebody's baby. It was an animal, dog. Some people, that's their baby. Died on a plane. The dog was yelping, barking, asking for help. The people whose job it is to make sure that the animals are secure, to make sure that the animals make it from point A to point B safe, ignored the dog. The dog ends up passing away. 48 hours later, there's freaking bills written. Oh, you're still in the hospital? I'm over here. I'm praying for you. I'm hoping that you get better soon. So the you got my information. When you get an opportunity, hit me up. Let me know what's going on with you. I am interested, and I hope you get better soon. So they already have a bill being sent through to be voted on in order to protect animals from, being hurt on planes and, already. But what about the freaking firearms incident? What about the situation down there in Parkland? I don't see anybody setting up legislation to help that situation. So when other countries attack other countries, we look the other way. When our own citizens attack our own citizens and kill children, we look the other way. Our government doesn't even attempt to do anything to, make sure that this doesn't happen again. And then on top of that, on top of not even attempting to make sure that this doesn't happen again, they make fun of the people who don't want it to happen again. The people who friends died, the people who almost died themselves, the people who witnessed the horrific freaking the deeds of this freaking mass killer. They mock them. Right now, America looks weak as shit to the rest of the world. Don't let nobody confuse you. Okay? Don't let nobody confuse you. Don't let nobody trick you. For everybody that's thinking, oh man, I'm gonna vote for Trump again. They're sending us back decades. Like, that's why I mentioned the 1980s. We're not going back years. Like, Bush was president and he messed up our economy for a little while with some of his madness. And then Obama came and set it on the right road. I know Trump is trying to take credit for it, but Obama sent it on the right road. It is what it is. Before the economy had the problems this time, one of the main reasons why the economy was so well in the 1980s, it was Bill Clinton. The first Bush didn't really hurt our economy that bad. He actually kind of helped it with the whole, when the war in the Gulf War, for everybody that doesn't know, that kind of helped our economy for everybody that doesn't know. But Bill Clinton signed a couple of things in the law that really helped boost the economy, right? George Bush Jr. comes in the 2000s, destroys our economy because he takes all of the monies that Clinton had been saving, the surplus, and he sends that to, I guess he tried to do the same thing that his father did, and he basically uses that money, because it was after the 9/11 incident, and that created, kind of turned us into like I'm not gonna say a military state, but that he used that money to, funnel it to his friends that makes weapons. And, that hurt our economy because they was taking monies that we didn't have to pay for weapons that it turns out we didn't need. So, we have the largest military, from what I believe, if I'm correct, we have the largest military stockhold of weapons in the world. Now, I mean, I'm not going to get too upset over that. This song right here is going to demonetize my video, everybody. The song is so loud, it's going to come over on the YouTube. This shit is going to demonetize my video. This will be the third time that this song demonetizes this video. What can you do, right? Anyway, so you got to look at it like this. We don't protect our own children. And I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about the regular American. I'm talking about our government. Our government won't protect our children. Our government pretends like things don't happen that we should be concerned in. When they're doing things in Afghanistan, and when they're doing things in Iraq, and when they're doing things in freaking Iran, our government's all over it, right? Oh man, these people are setting biological chemicals against their own people, right? We are. But when Russia does it against, supposedly, allegedly, does it against another country, and all the proof is out that Russia's actually done this, what does our country do? Our country acts like it didn't happen. Our country looks the other way. How is this not weak? This makes us weak. Our government, weak. And it's a shame because I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what Democrat is going to run against. I don't currently know what Democrat is going to run against Trump. I don't know. What Democrat is going to run against Trump? At this point, I'd be happy if a different Republican beat Trump out. But what Democrat is going to run against Trump? We got 3 years to go. There's no front runner. 3 years to go. What Democrat is going to run against Trump and beat him? He has his Trump's base don't care. Trump's base don't care if he accidentally nukes half of America. They don't care as long as it's not the half that's killing them and their friends. They don't care. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. But Trump's base doesn't care. Trump's base just want a situation. She might have been a Trump supporter. I think she was mad. She was like, oh man, I'm getting away from here. Like, guys, talking bad about Trump. I try not to talk politics out in public because you get the weirdest responses instead of people saying, oh, somebody has a different point of view than me. You know? Okay. It's fine for people to believe things other than what we believe. It's fine. But let's just state facts. Every single individual that voted for Trump has put us in a situation where we're having an issue with Korea, North Korea, correct? Russia is doing all types of craziness, including supposedly, allegedly, getting involved in our elections. So then you gotta say, why doesn't Trump want to speak out against Putin? Why doesn't he want to speak out against Russia? Is he fearful that Russia is going to acknowledge that they rigged the elections in order to help him win? I mean, let's just state facts. What's Russia got to worry about? Sanctions? Russia has their own iron. I don't even know what Russia will get from other countries. You know what I'm saying? But like metals and ores and stuff like that. Russia has their own stuff. You know? And there's enough nations that don't like America that would still trade with Russia. That's like if America did something to Russia and there was some kind of sanctions, you know, put on them, or the UN attempted to put sanctions on America. The sanctions probably wouldn't go through because America has enough supporters. Well, Russia is in the same situation. They have enough supporters. There's really nothing America could do other than stand up for itself. And if we have a president who is in bed with them, why would they do that? Anyway, I'm late as usual. I love you guys. I just saw some stuff today that really pissed me off. And one more thing. There's a school district in Staten Island. No, not Staten Island, Long Island. Putin has dirt on him, yeah. Yeah, and his wife, yeah. Exactly. Putin absolutely has dirt on him. I mean, it's obvious. But there's a school district, I believe, in Staten Island or Long Island, I believe, and they've hired armed guards, 6 armed guards apiece, to watch the schools and make sure that there's not a school shooting. I said that this is something that all school districts need to do. All schools need to do. I said that they need to do this. Go watch it. If you go back to the last, every morning coffee where I spoke about this, I've said the same thing. They need to have armed guards on the schools. I mean, I don't think every school needs 6 in particular, but they need to have armed guards on the schools. And not just that, we have people coming back from the war who can't get jobs and who are capable. And not only can they not get jobs and they are capable, but they have training. They have the actual training which is needed to be able to recognize and be able to discern who's a threat and who isn't. And they have the training to be able to de-escalate the situation. So that solves 2 problems, period. We're gonna hire some. I like short girls with thick butts. I ain't gonna lie to you. So that helps this. That solves 2 problems. A problem that we have in this country with our soldiers coming back and not being able to be employed, not because they're unemployable, but because there just aren't enough jobs out here for some of the skills in which they acquired. That's it. It's not like they're unemployable. A lot of them are employable. There's just, there's not a lot of jobs out here for some of the skills in which they have. That's just, it is what it is. And this solves that problem. It gets some of our soldiers employed, 1, and 2, it makes our schools safer. Because for everybody that thinks that there's gonna be a shootout, we don't want a shootout. What we want is somebody that knows what to look for so we could prevent a shootout. A shootout means somebody is gonna get hurt. Bullets will be flying. There's a chance that people will be injured. We want to stop all of that before it happens. Anyway, I'm going to try to do a video on that today. Last night, I was working on a new American Killers video. It will be dropping today. I just didn't have time to upload it this morning. I was working on it all night. I've been working on a couple of other videos also, but it's like I got to do research and I gotta look stuff up. So I don't know if I'm gonna be doing much more of, I don't know how much of the gossip stuff I'm gonna be doing, but I'll try to make sure that I stay up on all the important stuff, Oh, one more thing. That whole Bow Wow situation. I wasn't gonna speak on this, but that whole Bow Wow situation. Okay, so the dude, this is the thing that kills me. I dropped a video on it yesterday. Go check the video out. Pardon me. This whole thing happened like last year. This is not anything new. This is an old thing that happened. The dude had somebody walk behind Bow Wow filming while he jumped out of a closet or something. I don't know what cowards hide. While he jumped out of a closet or something and attacked Bow Wow. You are not a tough guy for attacking Bow Wow. No disrespect to Bow Wow, but he's like 5 foot. This guy has never lifted a weight in his life. And on top of that, for everybody that's upset at him because he's been telling a lot of lies lately, he's been lying about being on planes, he's been lying about which cars is his, absolutely. He's done all of these things. But it doesn't change the fact that if you go back to the 90s, when he was dropping that music, it was everywhere. You had women, 20-year-old women that couldn't wait for Bow Wow to become legal. It was crazy, yo. I'm telling you, it was crazy. Anyway, respect that man. He's part of hip-hop culture. That's part of the problem that we have now. People want everybody to respect Tupac. Respect Bow Wow and what he's done. Yeah, he's been doing some clown shit lately, but I mean, he's been in the game for a long time. It is what it is. I don't ever expect to hear music from him again. He needs to try to get into some other area in the media, like he was trying to do some acting or some shit. Maybe he should just work behind the scene. You don't gotta be in front of the camera. You understand? Yeah, he was on 106 in Park, but I don't watch that. That's for kids. But yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Like, come on, respect that man. And nobody's a tough guy when you're like, the dude is like 6'3" or something like that, 6'2", 6'3". If you're 6'2" and 6'3" and you jump out of somewhere and snuff somebody that's like 5 foot 5'1", you're not a tough guy. Come on, stop it. Seriously, stop. Don't nobody give this guy no praise. He's a clown. Seriously, he's a clown. I'm not a tough guy, but if you got to snuff a 5 foot dude, I know I can handle you. That's facts. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care of each other. Let's send our best wishes out to Mahogany. Hope she gets home soon. And that's all I got on this one. I'm late as hell.
But, I'm exhausted.
I'm out.